Neil McAvoy, member of the Welsh Parliament for South Wales Central and leader of the new political party Propel. I need to speak to you seriously about the COVID cover-up that we are seeing in Wales from the Welsh Government and from the Welsh Parliament. In October, I tabled a series of questions about what was happening with lockdown. One of the questions was, and this is the 20th of October, what risk assessments were carried out in relation to the effects of lockdowns in Wales on debt, non-COVID-19 deaths, mental health, level of suicides, suspected suicides and attempted suicides, and when and how will the Minister publish them? Well, on the 30th of October, the Health Minister said, and this was his answer, I will write to you as soon as possible with a substantive response, and a copy of the letter will be published on the internet. So no answer. We're now going towards the end of January, still no answer. On the 4th of January, I tabled a question. What assessment has the Welsh Government made of the number of potential deaths caused by lockdowns compared to the number of lives they are projected to save? The answer from the Minister for Health, Vaughan Gething, on the 14th of January was, I will write to you as soon as possible with a substantive response, and a copy of the letter will be published on the internet. We have a very serious matter of public health. Are lockdowns killing more people than they are saving? Every research paper that I have come across states that prolonged lockdowns kill more people than they save by a great margin. It's reasonable to question the government and ask the government to publish their data, to publish their assessments, because maybe the other assessments which are saying that lockdowns kill more people, maybe they're wrong. And maybe the Welsh Government is right. I don't think the government is right. And I want to see their data. I want to see the assessments. The public has a right to know what is driving COVID policy. There was a debate, there is a debate in the Senedd, and I published an amendment. So this was going to be debated upon and voted upon. And the amendment called on the Welsh Government to publish any risk assessments it has undertaken to assess the potential harm done by lockdowns. A very sensible and simple thing to ask. Plaid Cymru's presiding officer, Elin Jones, withdrew that amendment. She has not allowed that amendment to be put today. The email that I received from officials stated the following. Dear Neil, please be aware that the Llywydd, or the presiding officer, has decided not to select the amendment you tabled on the motion under item 7 today. The plenary agenda will be republished soon to reflect that fact. So what the Plaid Cymru presiding officer has done, she has completely removed any reference to assessments, and it's almost as if my amendment never existed. I'm not allowed to take part in the debate, and there will be no vote on the government publishing the data that it may or may not hold, because I've come to the conclusion after quite a number of weeks now that the government carried out no assessments, in my view, and everything seems to be by the seat of their pants. The thing on most people's minds now is the vaccine. The rollout has been chaotic. There are so many people who want the vaccine, unable to actually get it. The First Minister said that the rollout of the vaccine wasn't a sprint. In fact, it is a sprint. It's a sprint to save lives. An allegation was put to me that the government turned down 200,000 Pfizer vaccines at the beginning of January. 200,000. So there's an allegation there made that either Mark Drakeford or Vaughan Gething, probably both of them, turned down the opportunity of having 200,000 further vaccines in Wales. So today I put forward a topical question. There's nothing more topical than that right now with the vaccine. And yet again, we see the cosy alliance between the Labour Party and Plaid Cymru in the Senedd, in the Welsh Parliament, and Plaid Cymru's presiding officer, Elin Jones, refused to accept my question. There were no other topical questions accepted today, so there was no other burning matter to discuss. And yet, the refusal of 200,000 Pfizer vaccines somehow is not topical for debate. So we're in a situation where you have me as an elected member. I'm asking about assessment. I want to put the matter of the assessment into a debate today. I wasn't allowed to do that. I put forward a question about vaccines and the outrage, it seems, that the government seems to have turned down 200,000 extra vaccines in January. Plaid Cymru's presiding officer has again protected the First Minister, protected the Health Minister by not allowing the question to be put. What we have in the Welsh Parliament is a social club involving all the other parties, as we saw with the news this week that a load of them got drunk together before Christmas. Labour, Conservative, all of them together had a good drink after voting to close pubs. What we have is vested interests in the Senedd, in Welsh politics. Every single person out there, without any party allegiance. This isn't a party political point. This is a democratic point. It's an absolute outrage that the procedures of our Parliament are being abused and used to prevent the government being held to account. And the only people benefiting from these actions are the people who want to abolish Welsh democracy. I believe passionately that our Parliament can and must be used for the benefit of the people of Wales. To do that, we need accountability to be able to put questions, put amendments, and have them debated. What we have here is a COVID cover-up. We live in very, very dangerous times, and I want an election as soon as possible. Diolch yn fawr.